Welcome to the latest and late edition of Transmissions of the Man Walking Around with a phone on a stick. My apologies for not managing to get things up and posted more regularly. I did promise to Colleen that I would maintain this little video thing, and on my computer I do have about 4 or 5 started and incompleted, partly edited efforts, but I've just been, I don't know, combination of things. Too busy. It's easy to say too busy. It's kind of a justification. Perhaps I mean, I don't know, too lazy, I don't know. Too distracted. Anyway, so this one, as soon as I get back from this morning, the regular morning walk with the pooch. There's the pooch. Pooch. There's pooch. As soon as I get back, I'll give it a quick cut, stick it straight up online. I've had a lot of extra people signing up for this on the Substack, so thank you very much. I mean, the Substack is also acting now as a kind of mailing list for exhibitions and news and the like. Again, I haven't put all the news on there of things that have been going on over the last few months. It's now 3 months since I've lost Colleen. It's still very hard. I miss her every day. But as I told you before, I promised her I'd keep me shit in gear and get on with stuff. The last 2 projects that she had involvement with were ideas and preparations for the wall in the village, in our commune, in La Fouillée, and even on her bed at home. As she was sailing off, she was still saying to me, "Have you got that wall started yet?" No. It started, it's well underway. She helped me do a lot of the research into the pillow airs. And she loves this village. She loved her life here. She loved how we'd been welcomed, accepted, and befriended. So it was an important project for her as well. You know, I think there will come a point. I've just started putting colour on it. Yes, I finished the drawing, and that's sealed. That's why it's taken so long, because I've started with the compressed charcoal drawing. I would seal it after each couple of hours in the morning when I was doing it. But the problem has been that since January up until the start of this week, really, we've only had 4 or 5 days without rain, which is, even in this area, a significant change to the norm, or to the expected norm. So, some colours on the wall. I've done the skies, or I've started the skies. We shall start working on the background next. You know, and I'm thinking, when it's finished, or when I leave it alone, when I'm happy to say to the commune, okay, there's your wall, even though it was done for the commune. In a way, it's also like it's being done for and with Colleen. And in a way, I don't want the job to finish. It's like I'm putting a full stop after the last sentence she's written or something. I don't know. So I think I'll make it clear to the commune that when in the future, when I walk by it, if there's anything about it that I think is annoying me or needs changing, or I will just do it. And then in that way, it's never really finished. Colleen's plan is still in progress. Other things going on. I've had a lot of loving and supporting messages still from all of you out there, as well as family and other friends. It's been very welcome indeed. I did the project. I was working recently in Brest on another pre-demolition project for Projet 00 in the building next door to the train station, and they roped in a load of artists. I got dragged into it as well, and basically we're asked to fill up the place with some art. People can come in as they go to catch their trains, or when they get off their trains, or even when they're just visiting, or they can just come for the sake of it, because the French do like their visual art. They do support artists. Right, I'm coming up to the pylon, the overhead pylons, which usually means science fiction sound effects. So I'll stop a moment and come back when we're past the electromagnetic head fry. In the meantime, have a look at the Brest project a minute. Wow, someone's been busy with a chainsaw since the last time I came down here. Where were we? The mural. Yes, the villages, the commune's mural, that's carrying on. And even when it's finished, it will still be subject to ongoing amendments and possible improvements, I like to think. And then I'm always working locally, wow, with Colleen in mind. Stick your €200 bloody mountain boots up your jacksie. I got me 10 quid Dunlop wellies. Always have had. Winner. Anyway, where were we to? Getting on with work. Getting on with life. As I promised Colleen I would. Next thing, yes. The project in Brest. So, I hope you like those pictures. You know what was nice? As you could see, totally unexpected. And once, whoops-a-daisy, woohoo! Once the volunteers, once the workers, or once the organisers of Project 00, once they realised why I was putting the dancers up there, that they represented Colleen's life and spirit and political fight, I received an email in the room. They had placed a small vase of white roses, which of course, as you can possibly imagine, kind of turned me into a big ball of water. So thank you. I've said thank you to them individually, but it's thank you again to all of you. So that project is finished. Those drawings glued to the wall or disappear into the dust and shadows, as do we all. But the last exhibition that Colleen had any organisational and administrative involvement with, that's coming up in Dusseldorf. And the opening is in a few days. It's at Pretty Portal. It's a gallery I've worked with for a long time. And originally the idea was just a solo show, general work with no real defined theme. And then came my bad news. And I suggested to Klaus at Pretty Portal that I'd like to make the show about Colleen, and he was very supportive. He agreed immediately. So there will be, like in Brest, there will be some paced up dancers to go up on the street, and there will be the new show work made for this exhibition titled The Idea of Her. So there's a story behind this. I'm walking a road. I'm walking an old road. There's a story. I'd always wanted to make a portrait of Colleen, a finished portrait. She would have none of it. But she finally agreed. About 18 months ago, I brought the subject up again. And she said she liked the idea of my imaginary self-portraits. It's a theme I used a long time ago. And she said I could make an imaginary portrait of her, but she would decide how she was going to be portrayed. And I thought, fine. Which, if you think about it, all portraits and self-portraits are, to some degree, a nature of fiction. You know, an image is presented that the sitter or the artist wants to make. They're not cold and dispassionate. You look at the society portraits of John Singer Sargent, a particular favourite of Colleen, and you see the commissioned subject in all their finest fashionable or appropriate attire. Here's the well-to-do socialite. Here's the military veteran. So she had ideas, Colleen had ideas of how she'd like to be portrayed. But similarly, since her passing, I also have ideas of how I think she should be portrayed. And both are very personal. And there are a few pieces in this show that for the first time ever, I can honestly say about my work, I don't think I want to let them go. But I have to. It's like Colin would say to me, why do you keep old work, some old pieces? And I'd say, well, it needs correcting here. I want to fix that there, you know. And she eventually, one day, a long time ago, a few years ago, she said, just put them in a cupboard, forget about them, make new work, don't hold on to the past. Because if you change it, you lose it, which I think is a good point. So I have the memories of making those works. I have very high resolution images of two of those pieces in particular that were taken by a friend when they were finished. Merci Thomas. So they will go to the show. They will be on the wall, and I will move forward with my life and with my work. I will be at Dusseldorf for the vernissage if you want to pop along. I might be lurking in the streets somewhere the day before or after with paste-ups of dancers. We shall see. I think this is kind of staked out the route plan for future ideas, for future exhibitions and projects. So wherever I go, Colleen will go with me in my heart, and she will end up on your city walls. A drawing of her or one of her dancers will end up on your city, town, village wall. I think I need to go back to Bristol and paste up some in Bristol, around about where she used to live and work and play. That'll be fun. Colleen's coming home for a visit. Yeah, we'll do that some when. So that's it then. All right, so on we go. Look after yourselves. Look after all those around you. And ta-ta for now.